Now, I love lollipops, just so you know. I always feel like a kid when I'm having a lollipop. And if there's bubble gum in the middle, forget about it. My kind of thing. And I have the dentist bills to prove it. So thank you for joining me. My name is Kat Kerr, and this is October's vlog. This month I have a new color combination to share with you, a new color joy, as well as a new product of the month, a favorite product of the month, and I have some art hacks. I have some samples to share with you, but not too many because, again, some of my release dates have been pushed up again. So I don't have that much to share with you, but I will share some of the stuff that I've been working on this month. Not my ordinary kind of stuff, but it's been a lot of fun. And I also have a new segment called Tech Talk, which is basically just me talking about this new product that I have. But I figured it would be worth sharing it with you because it's making my videos, video taking run a little bit more smoothly. And I figured it would be great for those of you that are making videos. So I'm going to share that with you, as well as, just some family stuff that we did this month. And that's kind of it. So sit back, relax, and I'll be back as soon as I finish this lollipop. Okay. Now, the first video that I worked on this month was actually the last one to be released. It's 12 art journaling products that I can't live without. Now, I am going to be completely honest with you. I started it at the beginning of the month. I finished it at the end of the month. That's how long it took me to narrow down the list to only this many products. Because I realized that I love too many products and it's really hard narrowing it down. But I did pick 12 plus one of my favorite art journaling products. So if you're into art journaling, make sure you check it out. I also created a background. I did a video creating a background using embossing powders. And I really, obviously, you guys are probably familiar with embossing powders. You apply them with a watermark ink pad, and then you heat set them with a heat gun. And the goal for that particular video really was to see how they work on a black surface. I don't know if you can see that. And I did test them out on a white as well, but I wanted to see if I could do something else with them besides using them with a stamp. So I did that, as well as I made this tag in another video, and this was using some of my leftover pieces of white craft plastic, also known as Durabrite. I had these pieces from another project and they were so beautiful that I could not throw them out. And so I cut them into these little squares and created this tag. Really, really, really easy. So if you want to learn how to do that, go ahead and check out the link below. And my last video was that I also did a product assessment on Identipens by Sakura. Okay, there it goes. And I'll tell you, right now my favorite black pen is the Microperm by Sakura, because it doesn't smudge, it doesn't move under paint, and I'll be honest, this one is probably my second favorite. Well, is it my second or my first? Oh my gosh, this is so hard. The reason that it's so hard is because this pen has two tips on it. which is, why can't they make all the pens like that? So not only will it not move around on you under paint, uh-oh, I'm dropping stuff, but it also has 2 tips in one, which is awesome. So yeah, check out my product assessment video on that. And I think that's it for samples. Here are just some other things that I kind of clowned around with. I did a lot of watercoloring this month. And you'll see some of that in just a minute. This is part of my art hack that I'll share with you. And I'm not going to show you that stuff because it's kind of boring. But let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you what else happened this month. So I have an upcoming project coming up, and I decided to use leather in this project, but I first wanted to kind of play around with it. So this month I did quite a bit of leather play. I ended up burning it, I stamped it, I even painted it with like leather paints, really all just to kind of get a feel for the leather and how I can manipulate it and have fun with it. Now, something else I got to do this month was watercolor play, and I have been obsessed with watching watercolor videos on YouTube. And so I have been playing with Marabou's Aqua Inks, and this color palette just absolutely makes me happy. And I especially love these 2 YouTubers. I'll add their links in the description below. They had a lot of great advice and tips, and I did follow their advice. I got some dedicated watercolor brushes. I have a dedicated watercolor palette, and I believe that Aqua Inks comes in 12 different colors, but I do like to kind of mix and blend my own and see what I can come up with. So here I am just testing out some of the color combinations, trying not to make mud, and just having fun. And then right after this, you'll see me working on a journal page, trying to find my own watercolor voice, but I'm having a blast doing it. Now this month's art hack has to do with creative art textures. If you don't remember, creative art textures are textured unmounted rubber stamps, and they're basically used with the mono printing plate. And I have a horrible habit of not cleaning them. And I love them, but I just get really lazy and forget to clean them. So what I ended up doing was, the art hack for this month is that I took a piece of white craft plastic, I added some baby wipes, sprayed them with water to make them really nice and thick, and so every time I use them on a mono printing plate, I go ahead and dab them onto the baby wipes and remove the paint so that it doesn't build up, because otherwise you're peeling it off and it's a real pain in the butt. Now, I loved this idea so much, I ended up doing the same thing every time I use my foam stamps. If I'm not going to wash them right away, I just push them into the baby wipe to remove any excess paint, and then I go and rinse them down when I'm done with my art session. Plus, it's also a great way to clean that brayer. Now, if you're a space lover like me, then this month was a doozy. NASA made history in October. This month, astronauts Christina Koch and Jessica Meir stepped outside of the International Space Station to replace a faulty battery charger. This spacewalk was by an all-female team, the first of its kind in human history, and it's about damn time. Okay, so after thinking about it, maybe it's not really a tech talk and it's more of a review, but I purchased this tripod slash selfie stick on Amazon for $26. It's by a company called Humix, and I'm not affiliated with them in any way. Now, I have multiple tripods and multiple selfie sticks, and this by far is my favorite so far. It's really has a nice heavy-duty construction without the additional weight, which is perfect if you are walking around with this. If you have it in your bag, it's not super heavy. I love that it has this removable remote connected to your device via Wi-Fi, and super easy. The remote actually works at a great distance, which is wonderful, and it's also used as a tripod. Now, it is just a tabletop tripod, but it's perfect for my intro videos or anything else that I want to record. It's just a really nice stick as opposed to some of the other ones that I have, and it has a rotating holder on the top, and yeah, I think it's really, really good. Now, this month we did something new over at Universal, and we had a fun family day. We picked up my daughter at school and we headed to the parks. Now, I love people watching. I could just sit and watch people walk by all day long. It's just so fascinating to me, especially because it's such a fun and happy environment. But yeah, we ended up going to this restaurant called Cowfish. I tried my first kind of mixed bento box, which is some sushi and a burger and some sweet potato fries. I don't know if my husband liked it, but it was still a lot of fun. And we also got to watch a new show for Universal Studios, which is called the Dark Arts Show, based on Harry Potter, and it had Dementors and a nice little light show over at the Harry Potter Hogwarts Castle. It was very, very cool. It was a great show. So this month I also got to take a workshop with local artist Julie Kessler, and it was tons and tons of fun. I love and admire her work. She paints on tar paper, and so the class was painting sugar skulls on tar paper, and it's just so much fun, and I love her work. It's full of color, full of vibrancy, and working on tar paper is really unique and fun. So I've also, this is the piece that I was working on, but I also included some of her pieces so that you can check them out, and be sure to check out her website. I'll link her website below. When I use a new color combination and it gives me joy from the inside out, that's going to be this month's color joy. Now this month's color joy started with the color mixing that I was doing with the aqua inks. I loved this plum color paired with the green. I just thought they looked really lovely together. So this month I decided to make a journal page based on one of my favorite clothing styles. Now the empire waist dress dates back to the late 18th century, and it refers to the period of the First French Empire. Now in this style, the dress has a fitted bodice just below the bust, giving a high-waisted appearance, and it also has a gathered skirt, so it's form-fitting yet loose, and that's what I love about it. Now without a doubt, whenever I think of this style, I think of Jane Austen, her books, her stories, and the women of the day. Now here's my young man Josh, and he's marching on the field with his other drum majors for their last football game, and he's also a senior, so it is the last game for him, and I'm a very proud mama, but it was very bittersweet because this is the first of many endings. However, it's the beginning of something wonderful, so I am excited for him and thrilled for the future, even though we still have quite a few months left for school, but it's just the beginning of the ending, and then onward to something new. Now you're probably thinking that this month's product of the month is watercolor, but it's kind of close. It's actually the tools I use. I'm so thankful for the YouTubers that I was watching because they suggested these round brushes, and I definitely see why. Here I have a 00, an 8, and a 12 round brush, but my favorite has to be the number 8. As a newbie to watercolor, I'm going to tell you my 3 favorite things about these brushes, and the first one is how much water and ink they actually hold. You can really fill up that brush and do a lot of work without having to apply or add more color to it. The second thing that I love about the brushes is that they have a very narrow tip, so you can be very precise as to where to add the color, and it's surprising how precise you can be. Lastly, I love that I can use these brushes to write words with. Because it has the fine tip to it, I can make thin lines and then put some more pressure on the brush and make it into a thick line, which is just perfect for calligraphy. Now, if you get a chance, be sure to pick up the new Somerset Studio. I'm thrilled to be in there again, and I have an article called Little Bird, and it is an honor and a privilege to be in there. So if you get a chance, pick it up. Well, that's it for this month's vlog. Thanks for hanging around with me all this time. If you learned something new and want to support my channel, buy me a cup of coffee on Ko-fi. For the complete list of materials used in this video, see the description below. Thanks for watching.